this episode of Ice Fight.
The south basin of Lake Winnipeg is still open. It's not safe yet.
The ice all looks the same. You can go from a foot to nothing. Then you'll find yourself at the bottom of the lake.
Wide open. Yeah, I don't want to put anything setting across this. That.
We have nets that are set, but we just don't know where they are. This is why I'm sick of using snowmobiles.
That's probably about 2 layers of shelf ice that went under. Oh, dang, hold on.
We should have 24 nets in by now. Got 15.
Last winter, I already had been fishing for a whole month, so it's way, way, way delayed.
Oh, me likey.
Stay in school, kids. Don't become a fisherman.
You got to be a little crazy to do this. We got 2 months now to make hay, and we got to do it. Woo!
There's feet and feet and feet of snow, and minus 50 today. It is worth it if you're catching fish.
Gotta get nets in to make paychecks.
That's the smell of money, baby.
There is a risk every time we go out.
If you fell in, I don't think you have a hope in hell if you get help.
So I'll just go ahead. You just come behind, eh?
At Chris Christensen's base camp at the Lake Winnipeg Narrows, there's worry about what could happen out on the ice today.
I mean, there's 4 guys I heard gone through the ice already last week. The south basin of Lake Winnipeg is still open. So that means there's lots of current, there's lots of flat cracks, and the lake is still moving around. So here we are, the solstice, and it's still sketchy.
There's a menacing crack that begins at the south end of Lake Winnipeg. This one stretches 60 kilometers north through the fishing grounds at Husavik, Nesa, and beyond. In some places, it's nearly 20 meters wide, capable of swallowing crews and machines in a heartbeat.
I know people say, don't panic, but go through the ice and tell me what you think. I've been through 3 times. It's a blink of an eye. It's a flick of a switch. But you gotta be scared before you can become wise.
Everybody wants to feel safe on the ice, but it's not safe yet. So we're pushing it to the limit, as usual.
Chris has no choice. With customers demanding fresh fish before Christmas, he needs to lift his nets.
We're 1 broken snowmobile away from walking to shore. So, I mean, this is the only thing I could get in short notice to get us from Friday to today.
The ice is still not thick enough to support Chris's bomber or lifting caboose. He's had to rent a side-by-side just to keep fishing.
We'll take anything we can get our hands on right now in this kind of world. Everyone you talk to, nobody's got parts or product.
For all the crews, it's been a tough start to the season, with blizzards and dangerously thin ice that refuses to freeze solid even after a cold snap. But Christmas is coming. Everyone needs to find some fish and make some cash before the markets close for the holidays.
Holy! Me likey.
It's minus 20 degrees Celsius. Chris's crew will lift nets by hand while keeping an eye out for cracks.
We can get everything out here and get everything back to shore. Mission accomplished.
Fishing on the early ice is risky, but often worth the gamble. In December, the valuable pickerel are in large groups and on the move in search of prey. Chris knows when and where to have his nets waiting.
This is the world of fishing. Same old story. Try to be on the happy side of the ice.
You're not gonna change the lake. The lake will teach you how you have to react to the lake. Or it'll swallow you.
I'm in the zone. Christmas doesn't come in a package, it comes in a net.
We had enough guys to get some fish and fill the trucks up. It's kind of nice to have the extra hands while the fish is here, because it can go and we got to catch it while it's here, because I've seen it many times. It's here and it's gone in a couple weeks.
Our plan today is to try to put in 11 nets.
In Gimli, on Moonlight Bay.
Should be able to get in 4 just before the crack, and then we'll have to check on the other side of the crack to see how the ice conditions are.
Other teams have lost valuable nets in the shifting ice around the crack. Richard doesn't want to lose any. Each net and the fish it contains can be worth $400 or more.
Might be just faster to just use the hand one.
Yeah.
With the temperature sinking to a brutal minus 35 degrees Celsius, the Bjarnesons have taken the bomber out on the ice for the first time this season.
I can't believe it. It's over 3 feet. There's some shelf ice here, and
Layers of ice, called shelf ice, have piled up below.
No wonder.
Shelf ice typically forms when one ice sheet slips over another. It can be so thick that even the biggest auger can't break through.
Yeah, you can see where the ice slid underneath. What I'm going to have to do, Mike, is just go with the auger.
They will have to use the bigger auger that's attached to the back of the bomber. They're lucky it started. A breakdown out here in these temperatures would be disastrous.
That's about 6 feet.
You never seen it like that?
No, took the whole auger.
The Bjarnasons are finally able to begin setting the first net of the day.
Okay. Hold that. God almighty. Jeez. Right.
Suddenly, Richard Bjarnason takes a hard tumble on the ice.
Jesus.
The patch of glare ice is like concrete, and Richard is 76 years old. He can't quit, though. He needs to set these nets.
Oh, my God. It's so bloody slippery.
Most people would call it a day after such a brutal fall. But Richard isn't most people. For 6 decades, he's made his living on this lake, and he doesn't quit.
The snow on the glare ice, well, there wasn't much snow. That's the reason why I slipped there. Just moved a bit and just went right down. Good enough for a good slip.
After these last few days of just blowing snow, it's then opening up clear patches so you can get a good fall. So he's 76 and I'm 30 and I can feel it after I fall. So imagine how he feels after this.
After a challenging start, Mike and Richard managed to set 3 nets. Then turn their attention to the ice conditions they will face tomorrow.
We got 3 in, not really what we wanted to do. It's just been a bad year.
But now it should be good. Come back maybe tomorrow and set 5 or 6 more. That'll be all right.
Did you grab the batteries?
Yeah, they're in the side-by-side there.
Great.
At Nesa, on the south shore of Lake Winnipeg.
Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
It's minus 25 degrees Celsius. Trevor and crew are back to see if the ice has settled enough to reset his nets.
It's our 2nd day of setting. It's our 3rd or 4th day on the lake, and came and kind of tested the waters here the other day. I ended up freezing up a few lines on the nets, so luckily we got them all back. We didn't trash any nets, but I was a little too scared to leave nets in here for any amount of time.
Trevor pulled all his nets rather than lose them. Now his nets are safe, but he's losing money every day. The question is it safe to set them again here, now?
Last winter, I already had been fishing for a whole month, so it's way, way, way delayed. Want to pull out a stone, Riley, and do a measure quick?
That's 4.
Ah, that's what I like to see. Good, perfect. Perfect place to set.
Riley uses a sounding stone on a long line to measure the depth below. It's 4 fathoms, perfect for setting nets. Usually 1 fathom is the length of a man's outstretched arms.
It's just the right spot to be right now. Yeah, there's a few other guys around too, so. Yeah.
With just enough ice to get started, the crew uses a wooden jigger to set the first net.
Just get the beginning in with me, Pete, and then you can jig. And you can see how much room there is going north. There's enough for all of these nets if we really are in nice clear ice. But it's all rough ice south of us.
Nobody south?
I don't think so. Do you see that other gang on the way out here?
Yeah, I did. Picked a good spot anyway.
Yeah.
It's rare, good ice for setting nets here. There's not enough of it to go around, and that could spell trouble.
There's going to be other crews out here, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but that's just the way it is. This measure line is way, way the off. Not even close.
The first net turns out to be set too low in the water, which means something went wrong with Riley's measurements.
Stone. Need a stone.
There's one in there.
Okay. Okay, so that stone, Riley, when you put it down, it was touching the bottom right, and there would have been a lot of slack?
Probably with this much.
Okay. I measured it a fathom shorter. Got Gotta get one of us to measure it from now on because he doesn't have long enough arms.
It turns out Riley's outstretched arms don't equal a fathom. Trevor needs to get his nets in before others claim this spot. Having to reset is costing him valuable time.
Normally when it's been cold like this, it's safe, but just keeps opening.
2 hours north of Winnipeg, near Hecla Island on Manitoba's inland ocean. Dangerous early ice conditions are worrying Mike Linton and Justin Gerbrandt.
Last thing we need is one of us to go down and get hurt or worse.
They're rattled by stories circulating about fishermen and their vehicles falling through the ice.
So who went down in Husavik?
I don't know. Someone went down between Husavik and Gilmore like yesterday.
And now blowing snow has made it impossible to know where the ice is safe and where it's not.
When it's blowing, the ice all looks the same. That could have moved overnight, and you can go from a foot to nothing, and then you'll find yourself at the bottom of the lake trapped inside your machine, which, from what I've heard, has happened in the last few days.
Here in Hecla, there's good ice close to shore, enough for a snowmobile. But the cracks and ice conditions are constantly changing. That leaves Mike and Justin with no choice. With markets closing for the Christmas week, they must lift and then remove all of their nets, in case they fall victim to the ice. And just when fishing was getting better, and a profit seemed possible.
I can't leave a net here for more than 3 days because it'll float up and freeze in. So for the first time ever, I'm going to go into the holidays with really no nets in the water. And that's what we're here to do today, is take everything out. I don't want to. We're on an excellent hot streak.
Putting nets under the ice is always a risky business. When they're loaded with fish, they can float up and freeze in to become a total loss.
She's frozen in there.
If their bombardier was here, pulling their frozen caboose free wouldn't be a problem. But there's just not enough ice to support its weight, so all they have is their snowmobile.
Just try and go slow, keep that generator on there. Whoa!
Back at Hecla Island, just days before the market shut down for Christmas, Justin and Mike are hoping for a big lift today.
Okay, let me take the generator off. That jumped right out of there. Seats.